Hola guys! No grocery haul. I already had everything I needed at home to make salmon patties. I have been wanting them for a week now, and I'm kind of tired and I didn't really want to, but a bologna sandwich did not sound good, and it is lunchtime, so this is what we need. I usually make my salmon patties with a little side salad of some kind, so we have ingredients for that too. Okay, so let's start on this side. For my little side salad, I'm just going to do cucumber and celery. Cucumber celery salad with ranch. No big whoop. Just chop that up. There's my ranch. For the salmon patties, I'm going to use 1 can of pink salmon. I prefer the oh my gosh, the Boy brand. I forget the name of the brand I usually but anywho, Walmart didn't have it, so I got the chicken of the sea salmon. I use Creole seasoning, salt and pepper. I sprinkle in some parsley, which I also put into the salad. I beat an egg in it. I put in some frozen peas. I throw in a little sploosh of Miracle Whip. You can use mayonnaise if you want, or you can just opt it out entirely. But I used like a teaspoon of Miracle Whip, and then I dunk them in broken crackers, and I also use crackers in the mix. It's kind of like a meatloaf in how heavy it is. Now, I know a lot of people, and I've done this myself, do salmon patties. You do, oh, and some onion. You do salmon patties, you do the salmon, some onion, maybe a little parsley, salt, pepper, form a patty and fry it. And I've done that plenty of times, but sometimes I want a more tastier or more bitier patty, so I go like extra with it, and this is my extra patty. Anything you guys don't like in y'all's, and just opt out and share y'all's recipes. Like I said, I can go real simple, or I can go a little tastier. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's get this stuff ready because mama is hungry. Okay, so the first thing I do is drain my salmon. And this will be a delicious treat for the pussycats. Hopefully they don't beat each other up for it. But I just drain all the juice out. You could use a little bit later once you add the crackers, if you're going to use crackers to moisten it up a little. I used that nasty word. If your mix is too dry. But, so don't throw it away. And don't give it to the cats just yet. Now, you could remove the bones if you want, but they're so soft, I don't. I've never taken the bones out of my salmon or sardines, and I've survived. So, just take the salmon out. Uh-oh, I flake it with a fork. I just dropped something in my oil. Watch out for impending owies as it pops and screams. Anywho, so, see, there's a bone. There's some bones. But they're so small and soft that, see, they pulverize. Even if you were to chew down on one, ain't gonna kill you. So I just flake it, and now it's time to get my other ingredients ready. Okay guys, now here's the fun part. I got my salmon nice and crumbled. I took my peas and I rinsed them to thaw them out, because you don't want them to thaw inside of your patty, because then it makes it super soggy. And if you're already adding mayonnaise and eggs, you don't need all that extra. So I made sure that those were defrosted. I put those in. I usually do 8 to 10 saltines. You can use Ritz if you like it, Ritz, because it does give it a more richer, like buttery flavor. I personally don't like Ritz, but you can definitely use Ritz. These are just regular saltines. I think I used 10. It's usually 8 to 10. Here is my parsley. I couldn't even tell you how much. I just chop off a little bunch because I really like that fresh flavor. And my onion. I went a little onion crazy. I usually only use like a third of a cup. That may be a little more by sight because I cook by sight usually. It looked a little more than that, but oh well. Here's my egg, slightly beaten. And yes, some of y'all might be like, are you really putting all this stuff in a salmon cake? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. This is what I do. And here's my mayo, my Miracle Whip. You can use mayonnaise if you want. I don't like mayonnaise. My tummy don't like mayonnaise. So I use Miracle Whip, and that's just to keep it all together. Because if you do like a straight, at least with me, if I do a straight salmon patty recipe, they tend to fall apart in the skillet. So I like to use things that are going to keep them together. That's why I use the egg and the crackers. Now the only other thing are my seasonings. So I do pepper because y'all know I love me some black pepper. I don't play with that pepper. A little bit of salt. And any spicy seasoning of your choice if you want to use spicy. If you don't want to, don't. You don't have to use anything. But because I want a nice meatier patty, I'm going to use the Tony's Creole. But I think it's super spicy. Y'all know I'm kind of a weakling, so I'm not going to use too much. Just a few sprinkles. Okay, so now's the fun part. Some of y'all might gross out. Some of y'all are spoon users. I am a hand user. They're nice and clean and sanitized. And I get in here and moosh it all up. I do the same with my meatloaf. I use my hands for my meatloaf. But that's all I'm doing. And to get the fishy smell out of my hand, I just wash with lemon juice and a little bit of milk. Mackerel and sardines really penetrate your hands and they smell super gross. But salmon, at least the Fisher Boy brand that I couldn't find, doesn't leave my hands all stinky and gross. But I'm not familiar with this one. So let me clean off all this goodness off my hand. But there's the mix. And now we're going to make patties and get our breading ready. Okay. So all I'm doing here is using a few more crackers. And I'm going to make a crumb coating. I'm using my little rock from my molcajete because I want my crumbs to like be really fine. And I probably could have or should have just bought some breadcrumbs already because those are like super fine. I don't like big pieces of cracker to be left as a coating because they burn. And who wants that? You already got to be careful if you add parsley to your cakes that the parsley doesn't burn because that's bitter and gross. So I don't want to have to be worrying about a whole bunch of stuff not burning on me. So here we go. I got them into nice little bits, and I'm just going to finish off this little crumb coating. I like these extra ones, these little extra, get all up in the extra of it, salmon cake. They're so much tastier. They feel more like a meal than a snack, because if you just do your traditional little salmon, like real easy, canned to limited filling stuff, they're good, don't get me wrong. You make a nice tartar sauce with it, shoot, that's some good eating, but they're not as filling. You're coming back snooping around, at least I am, an hour or two wanting something else to eat. So this may be fine enough. Now let's form our patties. Now what I do with the patties is I put them on a cookie sheet after I make them and put them in the refrigerator for like half an hour just to set everything up. Okay. I don't make them too big, about this size. Dunk them in my crackers. Okay. My peas fell out. Get back in there, pea. And then set them down to harden. Do this especially if you're using peas, because your little peas will roll out. If you're using, some people like to use bell pepper and celery. If you're going to do that, let them set for like half hour, because them little bits will fall out. So I'm gonna go ahead and make these up and get my little pan over here ready with them so I can sit them in the fridge. But that's what I'm doing. Oops, can y'all see them? That's what I'm doing. So here are my little patties. I got 8 out of 1 can. I'm going to go ahead and set them in the fridge for a little bit. And while I do that, I'm going to come and visit with y'all and wash my dishes because y'all know I clean as I go. Real quick, my little salad is very self-explanatory. It is just cucumber and celery and parsley and little squoze of lemon. And I toss it with some ranch and it's fresh and clean and delicious. And it's just a go-to I've been using forever. If you want to sprinkle on some Tony's or some lemon pepper seasoning on top, that's really good too. But I'm just going to keep it this way. I'm going to put a little pepper on it. I'm not going to put salt on it until I get ready to eat it because the salt is going to make my cucumber sweat and you're going to end up with a sloppy mess in the bottom. Same with my lemon. I'm not going to squeeze those until I am ready to use it. But I'm going to stick this in the fridge with my patties and then it'll be nice and chilled for dinner. I'm actually washing my dishes in a filled sink so as not to waste agua and so you guys can hear me. Plus, there's a lot of fishy oils and stuff going on in here, so I gotta make sure all that gets washed out real good. But anywho, how are y'all? It's Sunday. If I haven't already said that. It's usually when I'm able to do these cooking videos. Little dude is still with his dad, and I just got a phone call asking me what size swim trunks he wears. And it's already creeping up. It's actually 4:22, so I guess little dude has decided he wants to stay an extra day, which I've gotten used to. If you've been with me a while, you know I have struggled with how well little dude is taken care of while he is in his father's care. His father's new wife is a mother herself, and she's really on point with his medications and stuff like that. But my concern and my issue for many years has been, I'm glad she's there for little dude, but his dad needs to step up as well because you can't put the care of your children solely in her hands. You know, he needs to be able to do it. So if you've been with me a while, you know I've struggled with how not good he's been at that in the past. He has improved a lot. Little dude is old enough now to be able to speak up for himself and to remind him or to just straight up call me and tell me, Mom, this and this is what's going on if things, you know, go wrong. So my confidence isn't as wonky as it used to be, but I'm still struggling and getting used to him wanting to be gone a little longer, which is awesome. You know, it's awesome. I'm glad that he feels safe and loved and cared for and protected over there enough that he wants to stay. I'm really, really glad for it. But at the same time, it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. But I've said it once and I'll say it over and over again. A child who is loved abundantly is a lucky child. You know, a child can never be loved too much. As long as they're safe and well cared for, that's all that's important. So anywho, I don't think little dude is coming home this evening. He might come home tomorrow. Technically, he's supposed to stay with his dad all of July, but since visitation was put into place, that hasn't happened because of my issues with his care and all that. So I don't know if I may get a phone call tomorrow. And oh, goodness gracious, I just got it. Okay. I don't know if I'll get a phone call tomorrow and they decide they're going to try it. Little dude is for it. He said, I don't want to spend that many days away from home. So we talked about it and he said, I could try it. I said, you know, it's up to you, sweetie. If you want to try it, go for it. If you miss home and want to come home, just let daddy know how you're feeling and y'all can figure out the best thing to do. So I was able to cook something today that I wouldn't have cooked if he was here because he wouldn't have eaten it. And I'm really feeling a little off. I've been feeling off. It may be the heat. I don't know what it is, honestly. But I'm feeling a little off. And I've been dropping things. Y'all just heard that crash. I almost dropped that cup. I've been dropping things a lot, and I worry because back in 2000, well, it started in 2006. If I'm honest with myself, back in 2006, I started having very, very strange symptoms. I started having real bad mind fog, and I started dropping things, and I started having numbness in my arms, and I'd be driving and forget where I was going. It was almost like a seizure, not a shaking seizure, a zone out seizure. It's what was happening, and it had been progressively getting worse for years. And back in 2008, it got really bad. I remember I was at work and I was typing an order. I was typing an order on the screen. Now, my mind knew what I was supposed to be typing, but the screen was all gibberish. So I asked one of my coworkers to come over. I thought, something wrong with me. I asked one of my coworkers to come over and watch her, and I told her, this is what I'm trying to type. Now look at the screen. Am I seeing something? Is something wrong with my eyes? And she's like, no, there's something very wrong with you. So I ended up in the emergency room for a month. They did all kinds of tests on me. They thought maybe I had epilepsy. They thought I had the beginning stages of multiple sclerosis. They thought I had a brain tumor. I mean, I walked around for quite a few weeks with these electrode wire thingies on a little pack that I carried around that measured my brain waves and stuff to see if there were any hops, skips, and jumps in there that weren't normal. And come to find out, what was wrong with me was I had a spinal cord damage, disc damage, and it had gotten so bad, and I'd let it go for so long. I mean, this is just the way I am. Unless I'm bleeding or something is broken for sure, I don't go to the doctor. I didn't used to. I mean, I went to the doctor for my yearly, but I didn't go to the doctor if I felt sick. I was a much stronger person then. I had a high tolerance for pain, and I just figured I had a residual backache from a car accident that I had had a few years before. Well, it turned out the damage in my spine more than likely was from that car accident, and through the years of not tending to it, I ended up with disc damage, which was putting pressure on my spine, which was affecting my spinal fluid, making it to my brain. So that's where all my problems started. All the symptoms, all the weirdness, and I am beginning to feel that way. I'm having the brain fog. I'm having the dropping things issues. I'm having the numbness in my arms. But then I also attribute it, being stubborn and a procrastinator as I am, I attribute it to my diabetes. I don't have my diabetes under control the way I should. I forget to take my medication sometimes. I eat things I'm not supposed to eat. You know, I'm not even going to lie to me or myself, so don't come for me, okay? I know, as I sit here drinking Kool-Aid. I know, so don't come for me. I don't need any YouTube doctors coming at me. I appreciate concern. Let me clear that out because I know how terrible that just sounded. If you all express concern for me, thank you, because I would express concern for you guys too if y'all were sick and y'all aren't feeling well. But there are some people who think they can come on and just basically tell you you're a friggin' idiot and you're going to die and you're not taking care of yourself and where's that going to leave little dude? And him. That's not constructive, okay? It's not anything I don't already know. And just learn to word yourself a little bit better. Anywho, I'm sounding really snotty, and I don't mean to. But anybody who would take offense to what I just said are probably the ones that are going to come at me hard like that. So, oh well. I know a lot of you guys, you know, care about us and worry about us and stuff like that. So, maybe I'll just edit this part out because I feel like I'm being a real butt. But that's another thing. I've been feeling kind of tender. Like I feel like something's always going to happen. Like doomsday. I feel, and it's a different kind of anxious than the anxious I've been feeling. It's just different. But I remember it from back in the day. That's how I felt back then. But anyway, we are not here to have a whole conversation about health. I'm here washing dishes, letting my patties set in the refrigerator so that we can fry them up and eat. But I went off on a tangent. Oh, yeah, because I almost dropped my little thrifted measuring cup. But anywho, let me go ahead and drain this dishwater so I can rinse off my dishes. And let's talk about better things, nicer things. Okay, I have a new Hollywood obsession. Ben Affleck. Not the now Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. But the Ben Affleck from the Town days. My sister and I got together yesterday and we were going to watch scary movies. And she doesn't have a Blu-ray player. So I took my Blu-ray player and I took a couple of scary movies that she hadn't had a chance to watch. And we were going to get ready to sit and watch movies. And then I realized I didn't bring the remote to the Blu-ray. So we ended up on Netflix. And we decided, let's give scary movies a break for a little bit. Let's watch something else. Because the last few times we watched scary movies, we got like super spooked. So we decided to watch random things. We'd never watched The Town. Really good movie. Eons old. Well, not eons, but it's old. I am obsessed with Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck on that movie was so stinking handsome. And then he had on a police uniform at one point. Clutch my pearls, bless my heart. Whew, my goodness gracious, I just love a man in uniform. It was a really, really good movie. Then we watched Lawless. So we were kind of in a violent, crime-ridden mood yesterday, but I am obsessed with Ben Affleck now. So, having said that, let me rinse off my dishes real quick. It's been about 20-30 minutes. I straightened up some. It's been about 20-30 minutes that I put the patties in. My oil has been heating since I started the video. I have it on low. I'm about to tweak it up to medium, and then we're going to fry these suckers up. Okay? So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. My oil is hot. My patties have been setting in the fridge for a while. So now we're just going to put them in the skillet and let them go. Do 3 at a time. See how the little peas want to escape? So, I love that smell. I love that smell right now because I know how good these are going to be. But when I go upstairs this afternoon or this evening and smell it all throughout the house, I'm going to hate it. But this is what I'm doing. I'm frying these little bad boys up. I used to like to do butter in the oil. It gives it a little browner crust. But your girl don't have butter and I didn't want to use margarine because it splatters and it's not the same flavor. But I'm going to let these go and I will flip them in just a little bit. This is the hardest part of any friggin' salmon cake is the flip. Because some cooperate beautifully and some want to act up. Some of them want to show their salmon booty. I'm just frying them up. I put out 3 and I ate 1 and it was so good. And I'm trying my hardest not to eat all of them. But that's all you do. Like I said, the hardest part is flipping them. Especially when you add a little extra things. But it's still good eating. Just try not to mess with them too much. Let them brown good on one side before you attempt to flip. And here is my late lunch, early dinner. My salmon cakes or salmon croquettes, however you want to call them. My little lemon for splooshing. I'm not going to use the sauce because I love the flavor of my little salmon cakes. And my cucumber and celery salad. So, I'm going to put a little ranch on that. And it's sit down and nosh time. If you guys try it, I hope y'all like it. If you have any variety of your own salmon cake, share it with me. Any little additions, any little subtractions, any little special things you guys do. Any tricks for keeping them together in the skillet. This one tried to fight me. Share away with me. I'm always open and ready to learn something different. So if y'all try it, I hope y'all like it. And bon appetit, y'all. I love y'all bunches.